freelance journalist went viral on Facebook after she called out those who continuously question why she hasn't had children yet. This is 33-year-old Emily Bingham, and apparently she's really annoyed that people keep asking why she hasn't married her boyfriend or why she hasn't had children yet. And so she took to Facebook to share her perception of this and air her grievances. Here's what she has to say. Now, first she posted a picture of a random sonogram, which I thought was hilarious because it caught everyone's attention. Let's look at graphic number 13. So she got it off of Google Images, and she's like, hey, everyone, now that I got your attention with this random ultrasound photo I grabbed from Google image search, this is just a friendly PSA that people's reproductive and procreative plans and decisions are none of your business. Now, this goes into a longer rant, which I'm going to read to you guys, and a lot of disagreement has come up as a result of what she posted. Lots of people support her, mostly women. A lot of people don't support her. They think that she's being too harsh. But let me read you the most important parts of what she had to say, and then we'll discuss. She says, before you ask the young married couple that has been together for seemingly forever when they are finally going to start a family, before you ask the parents of an only child toddler when a little brother or little sister will be in the works, before you ask a single 30-something if, when he plans on having children, because you know clock's ticking, just stop. Please stop. She continues, you don't know who's struggling with infertility or grieving a miscarriage or dealing with health issues. You don't know who's having relationship problems or is under a lot of stress or the timing just isn't right. You don't know who's on the fence about having kids or having more kids. You don't know who has decided it's not for them right now or not for them ever. You don't know how your seemingly innocent question might cause some grief, pain, stress, or frustration. All right? So she also offers some suggestions for those who want to know what's going on with your loved one's family. Let's say you get together for a family get-together. What, you can't ask whether or not you're going to get married soon or have kids? She says no. Why don't you just ask that person what they're excited about currently in their life?
Why don't you not tell me what I can ask and what I can't ask? And I'm sympathetic, and I do not want to be on the wrong side of this. I do not want to be aligned with what I know are a lot of the people who are going to be mad at Emily Bingham, who I'm just looking at her, and I already think I would be friends with her.
Yeah.
Right? You know? And I get it, and she has obviously been irritated by this. And so some of it might even have, it reads to me like it might even have been a little funny. Like she's like, enough, stop asking me, right? Yeah. Like she just, and I totally get that. But you point, in her thing, she says, what seems like an innocent question. It seems like an innocent question because it's an innocent question. And that's critical. And we can't keep making it difficult for people to connect with other people. And we can't be afraid to ask. And I'm sorry if it causes you grief, stress, pain, or frustration. But ultimately, it's on you to handle your grief, stress, pain, or frustration as long as it's not intentional or wildly oblivious. And asking people about their family life and what they plan for the future, asking you, I don't know what's going to go to a party and say, what are you excited about in your life? Come on, man.
Okay.
But that said, I'm not a woman, and I hear that could probably get frustrating.
So I definitely understand both sides of this argument. I know that as a woman who is quickly approaching 30, you get asked that question far too often. And for me, I don't feel grief, but I feel annoyed time to time. Because it's like, look, I'm working, okay? I'm a career woman. Yes, I know you can do it all, but I just choose not to at the moment. Let's move on. There are other things that we can talk about. Also, here's the thing. Society tells women over and over again that their worth is based on how fertile they are, okay? And so if you're dealing with some infertility issues and people constantly ask you why you haven't had children yet, it could be pretty terrible. It's a terrible thing to have to go through. It's really tough. But at the same time, you know, I think it's okay for someone to just ask once and then let it go, right? Don't harp on it. Society also harps on that constantly.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're asking, like, read a cue.
Yeah.
If she goes, I don't know, don't follow up.
It's over. It's over.
Right. I mean, you don't, definitely. But this notion that somehow, that what bothered me, and look, I don't get asked these questions, so who gives a shit what I have to say. But the notion that you should be afraid to approach a 33 to 35-year-old woman and ask her, if you're close to her. I mean, obviously, if you're not close to her, then what are you doing asking her about how often she gets laid? That's a crazy question, right? So that you need to be afraid that there are things we, again, can't and can't say because, and a big part of her thing, and it's a big point for me, is because she might find it objectionable, because it might hurt her feelings. We worry way too much about hurting people's feelings. Sexism is real, racism is real, the glass ceiling is real, there are real issues. There is significant Islamophobia in this country. And what you say is completely true, that too often women are judged by their fertility. It's a great point. Those are real problems. Mm-hmm. Worrying about people getting offended is not our problem. Like, as long as you are reasonable and careful and thoughtful about other people. You might offend somebody occasionally. You don't have a right not to be offended. It is incumbent on you to deal with that offense in a productive way, to choose not to like me because I'm the ass who keeps asking those questions, right? Yeah. That's fine. You get to make that decision. But you don't have a right not to get offended. And I don't know your grief, stress, pain, or frustration. I don't know that. But I cannot go into life worried constantly within bounds of reason that I'm going to bother it. That said, when asking a woman about her reproductive health, like, she's right. Like, in one sense, when you talk about it, you're asking, hey, am I having sex frequently and am I using protection? And you would never ask that question.
Yeah,
right?
That's actually, yeah, it's a good way of phrasing it. Look, I think your decision as to whether or not you have children, whether you're a man or a woman, is an incredibly personal and private decision. You don't have to share that with the world. You don't have to give excuses or reasons as to why you decided not to have kids or why you decide to delay having kids. With that said, I would really like us to move away from expecting everyone to have kids, because we have that cycle, right? We have that expectation. You're supposed to get married, and then you're supposed to have kids. You can't have one kid. You got to have two kids, because your one kid will be really lonely if you don't have two kids. Shut the fuck up. Get out of my life. Get out of my life. You don't have to tell me how many kids I need to have. You don't need to tell me when I need to have kids or if I need to have kids. That's the most frustrating thing for me personally. I'm not speaking for all women. But in terms of asking one simple question and then leaving it alone, I agree with you, Ben. I don't think it's that big of a deal. It really depends on how much the person follows up and how much that person harps on it.
It is funny, though, that she makes a good point. What are we asking? What are we asking? Are you having sex a lot? Are you using protection? We're at a party. What the hell kind of question is this?